Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, August 20th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Looking at the daily time frame of the ES, you'll see that we've had a little bit of a pullback here over the last day plus. Really, last afternoon, we saw the initial selling pressure occur after the FOMC meeting minutes were released. We've since seen a flush to overnight lows here of 33.4475s. And that overnight low is fairly strong. It's a fairly strong overnight low, but is it enough of a two-day pullback before we see another bounce? We are inside the PEMA trigger zone, but lately we've kind of traded in there for several days and then seen a bounce out of that zone. It's happened on multiple rotations that way, where we've come into this zone several days or come in here several days and then we bounce out. Right now this is one test in here, and while it is a fairly decent strong low here for the morning, will it hold on a multiple day basis? I don't know. We have perhaps several days that can trade in here before we bounce out of this area for another move. But right now, again, the early level to watch here is going to be 33.50. If price can continue to hold 33.50s here, we have a good shot to bounce out of this area even on a one-day basis and start pushing higher. And keep in mind, even if we do pull back another day or even two, this market still remains very, very strong, and whenever the pullback is done, it is likely another buying opportunity until proven otherwise. Okay, let's take a look now at the NQ. The NQ right now is holding off of the 8-period pivot-based EMA here. That is today's low, 11,221.5, and that right there is a very good level right now for bulls to defend. You can also see here that price has popped back above the previous session's low as well. That's very important. That's around 11,300. The 11,266 level is the previous week's high price, and that's an important zone. So right now, if price were to pull back here, if the low is in for the day, we may not see price get back below, say, 260. So if price gets to 260 here, you want to see bulls defend and keep that area bid for a continuation higher. Again, very similar to the ES, we may see a deeper drop into the PEMA trigger zone as we have here for several days. Sometimes you may test it to the nose and rally off that zone, kind of like this right here. But again, we won't know here. This strong low right now looks pretty decent, 221.5. But at the same time, we'll see here if it can hold on a multiple day basis. Because on the pullback phase, if this is a pullback, we've tended to see somewhere along the lines of 2, 3, 4 days of a pullback, and it's been of a certain magnitude as well. And right now we're not seeing that magnitude here. So again, while we have a good decent low for the day, I don't know if it'll hold for a several day period. And if not, that's okay. Even a move as deep as the key range high 11,058.5 could be a great buy opportunity for a continuation up. And remember, the next upside target that we're really shooting for here is the 50% 11,723s. 11,723. So on the next pullback, we could still see a squeeze into that zone. Okay, let's take a look now at crude oil. This one's down right now about 0.9%. It is also just now bouncing out of the PEMA trigger zone here. You can see, again, given the bullish slope here, any drop below that zone is typically a buying opportunity. Here, with still half of the hour to go as of the recording right now, we are seeing a buy signal develop in a 60-minute time frame on a failed new low below 42.50. And right now what that's doing is leading to a likely bounce opportunity here. So you can see a failed new low below the previous session's low. It also took out a low from 2 days ago and is now showing strength. That right there, if it starts to overtake the previous session's midpoint, this thing gets very, very strong, and that's 42.88. If it starts to overtake 42.88s here, we may see a bullish outside day develop where price actually briefly pushes beyond the previous session's high. So right now, looking very strong and solid in the 60-minute time frame. Same thing across the board for the ES and the NQ, with potential higher lows developing. However, there's still plenty of time before that hour finishes, so these signals may go away. But as of right now, looking fairly solid here for a bounce opportunity. Again, failed new lows below the previous 2-day lows and bouncing off the previous month's high, trying to stay above the 200-day moving average. We are still sitting in the 43 to 42 half zone. That's the very important zone where we haven't been able to find much acceptance. But the last couple of days here, we've been sitting above the zone. Perhaps a breakout to the upside may be coming soon. Okay, let's take a look at gold futures. This one right now is down about 1.3%. This one had a very sharp turnaround in the previous session. For the most part, it had a great bounce off the lows to claim the midpoint to give us our key range. I mentioned that any pullback into 75 or even lower could be a great rejection and could give us a higher low, and that could get us higher into the 2089 to 2100 level. But in the previous session, it bounced off that zone initially and then went through it hard, and the stop run day occurred. This is a bounce after stop run here, and you could be looking at a retest after stop run that leads this thing lower. At the moment, that's a fairly strong high with a strong low and a bounce back, but look at this lower high coming right in off of the downside break point here of 2025 and then shooting down downward hard. Now you can see that we may see a retest of this low that takes us into the 1830 to 1860 zone on the next move. What's going to be very important here is about the 1920 to 1930 zone. 1928 here is the 25% key level here. That's where bulls have kept this thing bid. Can they continue to keep that zone bid, or do we see a break? Because if the break occurs there, it's going to be hard not to see an 1830 test here pretty soon. And again, that could be a great zone to look for a trap and bounce back to 1981.70. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.